ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. My name is Kevin. My co-host Teddy is over here, and he's on top of the case we are checking out today. It is the Fractal Meshify C Mini. So many of you are already aware of the Meshify case, but this is the mini version. So let's take Teddy off of here. Here you go, Teddy. And let's have a look at this case. Now, I actually have a pretty good question for you guys today. So if you go over to my community tab on my channel, I'll have a poll there, and in that poll I'll be asking you guys what sort of budget should I have for the build with this case. So there'll be 3 different choices. You get to pick, and then whichever one you guys vote up the highest, I will do, and we'll do a build of that price point with this case. So let's have a look at it then. So we'll start up the top then. Let's have a look at the front I/O. So we have a restart, mic, headphone, obviously power, and 2 USB 3.0 ports. Personally, I would have liked to have like the 2.0 and then 2 3.0 ports. That I probably would have liked that a lot more, like what you have on the Define R6 here. Obviously, you know, you have, well, if I can get it focus, there you go. Yes, you have the 2.0s and the 3.0s, because I oftentimes will use all 4 of them. But hey, maybe that's just me. Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Is that something that would be an issue for you, or are you just happy with just the 2 ports up the front there? Of course, you can just chuck things in the back. It's not really like the end of the world. Then we see the top here. So this is a removable dust filter. Like many other models, you can just, whoa, it's just magnetic, so we could just, if I can get my nail under it. It sits very flush, which is good, but there we go. So you see it comes up here, and that's quite good. One thing I noticed, this has already started to come up, which isn't ideal, but maybe that was just me being unlucky. I mean, I can just push it down, you see it's like glued in, but you see it starts coming back up again. But that's not the end of the world. It's not like this is something you would be taking on and off really often or anything like that. It would just be when you obviously went to clean it. Let's move to the front then. I might just move this around a little bit so it's easier for you guys to see. So you see the Meshify front, same as the big one, just the normal Meshify C. You have to pull this entire thing off if you want to get in on the fans though, so that could be a little bit of a annoyance for some people out there, but of course you would only probably be doing that once. Now another gripe I have is with the side panels. So over on the back side here, the cable side, you have these normal screws like you would on most cases. So just undo these, you know, another one down the bottom here, and then the whole thing just pulls off. Nice and easy. On this side, the glass side, you have these screws that are on the face of the glass here. Now if you see, like if I go to take these off, my hands have got to push against the glass, which is going to mean you can even kind of see it already. I'll try to get it so you guys can see, but you can see this fingerprints. I mean, I've been trying to be careful with this to make it all nice and pretty for you guys, but you can even see that there's marks around it already. That's one thing I'm not a huge fan of as well. I would have liked it if they could have moved this towards the back or something, just so you're not touching it all the time. Again, you can just clean it after you've, you know, doing things. Maybe it's just me being a reviewer because I'm always, you know, playing around with the cases, taking things on and off. Maybe it's just a gripe I have. It'll be different for you. You can obviously just put your build in at one time, clean it up, and then you probably won't be taking it on and off. But hey, it's just something else I noticed. So let's take off this side panel then and have a look inside. So now that we have this side panel off, let's have a look inside. So when we go around, and let's look at the back then. So it comes with a 120mm fan, doesn't it, Frank? Frank's come to enjoy the show. He's gone into a safe space there. Yeah, so it comes with a 120mm fan in the back there. Like to see that. A big motherboard cutout, which is always good to see. We'll have a look around at the back in a minute. That's that plate there is just so you can mount 2.5-inch drives. See all the rubber grommets there, which means you have a lot of places to put your cables through, which is always good. Always like to see that. Looking more towards the top here, we see pretty decent cutout. So if you're thinking radiator wise, you'll be able to go up to a 240mm up the top there, which I think is pretty reasonable given the size of this case. And then looking round to the front, we see it also comes with a single 120mm fan from the factory. And if you want to, you can go up to a 240 or a 280mm radiator in the front there. The only thing I would be a little bit conscious of is the fact that there's not a huge amount of space, as you guys can see, between the front and the back of the case. So if you imagine the radiators here, and obviously you still have the fans on it, whichever way you're mounting them, if you have a long graphics card, it may hit. Now they state that you're all good up to a 315mm fan, GPU I should say, with just the standard fans installed, but I would imagine that would drop back to something like 300mm if you had a radiator installed as well. So that is something you're going to need to be aware of. So here we have the case flipped over, and this is the back side or the cable side of things. So up the top there, as I said before, this is for mounting your 2.5-inch drives here. So your SSDs and things, you can fit 3 of them on there, which is good. You just unscrew this and the whole thing comes out, which is good. You have heaps of points to tie all your cables off to, which is good. And of course you got these 3 ones from the factory there as well, which you see right now. I'm just holding all the front I/O cables. Power supply wise, so you'll be able to fit a decent sized PSU in there. It might be a little bit cramped. I would suggest, even though this case is a bit on the cheaper side, coming in at about $90 US, you're probably not going to want to run this with a non-modular power supply because there's going to be a lot of cables in here. You still could, but I would say that if you wanted it to be very tidy, I would run it with a modular power supply. Out down here you see there's a gap for some 3.5-inch drives if you want to, just 2 that come out there. I mean, you could mount more on the base if you really wanted to. As far as power supply breathing goes, you can take it in from underneath the air. You got long dust filter here running the whole length. This is something Fractal does on, I think, nearly all their cases, and this is really good. I really like to see this. You can just pull it out from the front, nice and easy, and clean it. Isn't that right, Frank? He's got his toy. So yeah, around the back it looks pretty good. This would be, yeah, pretty good for a mini case. I don't really have any issues here at all. Maybe the only thing would be that some people may not have enough drive space if there's someone that's running a lot of 3.5-inch drives, but I don't think most of you guys are doing that nowadays. I think you would only run 1 or 2 for your mass storage, and then of course your 2.5-inch drive SSDs would be up there, or most likely many of you guys, your primary drive is an M.2 SSD, which of course would just be going straight on the motherboard. One other point I should mention is that this panel here obviously pops out, and that will help you when you want to mount all your radiators and stuff at the front or anything like that. So in conclusion then, what do I make of the Fractal Meshify C Mini? Well, I really like it. I mean, this is a good looking case, and it's actually pretty versatile for a smaller one in terms of radiator support. I mean, being able to go up to a 240 in the top or a 280 in the front is really quite cool. I think this is going to be an awesome case to build with, and I'm really looking forward to it. So as I said earlier, head over to my community page on the channel and make sure you vote for which sort of price point you want me to do the build at. That will give me an idea of what you guys want to see. If it's a sort of cheaper price point, then I'll do maybe something around an APU like the 2200G. If it's a more expensive price point, then I might do something like a GTX 1070 with an 8600K or something like that. So definitely head over there and let me know. And that's going to round out this video. So I want to say a special thank you to Cambo over at Fractal for sending this case out to me. You're such a great guy. And of course, you guys for watching the video and for voting on the poll to let me know what build you want to see. Because you guys were saying to me you want to see more builds on Tech Showdown, and that's what I'm going to be giving to you guys. So I thank you all for watching the video. Please subscribe to Tech Showdown so you catch that build video as soon as it drops. And I'll see you guys next time.